It's Rob!
Tony! And I'm Jeff.
We're in gaming.
And that's you.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Inn. I'm Rob, or Warshack if you want to call me that, and I am bringing back Patron from the dead. Probably not, but we're gonna try. This deck has been pretty successful so far. It was able to take us from rank, I think, 8 to here with minimal losses. I think only 1 or 2 for the most part. It plays roughly the same as the Patron we're used to. There's just none of that Warsong Commander shenanigans anymore. The deck, I believe, flows pretty much the same. There's a little bit more you can do with it. In my opinion, you're able to make favorable trades. It's not all worrying about the one-turn combo, besides unless you're just going to like flood the field with patrons if you're going against a druid. But for the most part, the deck runs fairly the same, like I mentioned before. The cards in it, as you can see, are fairly the same. And that's pretty much it. We'll just talk about what I've done to it, how to play it, and what to do, I think, fairly well with the deck. So off the bat, there's nothing really to do on turn 1, just like the normal Patron. It's like armor up passive and armor up passive turn. Oh, turn 4. Okay, now we can do some stuff. Okay, so there, for the most part, there was something I was gonna mention and I totally lost track. Oh yes, coin into Alkalite. Should we? No. Okay. So for those of you who are new to the video or new to the channel, as always with our deck guide videos, we play 3 ranked games. We win all 3. So if you're watching this, obviously we're able to pick up 3 wins in this video, which is very, very nice. If not, then we've lost and you won't be seeing this at all. So turn 3. Alkalite of Pain or Berserker. I think Berserker's not a bad choice here. If he plays anything aggro-ish, he's playing Handlock because he's already tapped twice, so he's definitely playing Handlock. So if he plays anything worthy of killing, we'll be able to destroy it with Slam and Taskmaster. Okay, so the Shredder, this is interesting. Normally that's not really played in Handlock. So he could be playing Reno Lock. That's a factor here. So we're going to deal with that Shredder, see what comes out of it, and then hopefully it has less than 2 HP, and our Berserker will be able to make a trade with it. Ooh, it doesn't. But we're going to attack into the Lightwell anyway, because if we attack into his hero, the Lightwell will heal him. But now there's a possibility of Lightwell healing itself, which it did, and yeah, it was going to heal one or the other. So he's going to Soulfire. He's going to discard a card in his hand. What is he going to get rid of? The Dark Bomb. So that's nice. He's going to play another Shredder. Wow. So he's got double Shredder and a Light Bomb, or Light Warden well on the field, which is bad. Okay, so we could slam the Shredder, attack into the Lightwell. It's going to pop the Shredder, and we can see what comes out of it, and then deal with that appropriately. I don't see a problem with that. Obviously, we want to slam prior so we can draw a card, and it's going to deal the 1 damage with the Whirlwind. All right, well, it comes out of the Shredder, a 3/2. So we could no, I don't think we could slam it. We won't draw a card, but it'll get rid of it. Is that worth it? We could double Taskmaster it. That's not value. So I think we just slam it, and then we could coin to passive, but I don't think that's worth it either. So we'll just do that. Get it out of the way. We won't be able drawing a card from that slam, but I don't think that's that big of a deal. Also, killing it, we could have went not about killing it, but then it had 3 attacks. If we were to play Alkalite the next turn, then the Alkalite would just die, and it would only get us 1 card. I mean, if it had 2 attack, the Alkalite might have been a better player because it wouldn't have died right away. But the fact that our Alkalite would have only been able to draw 1 there, I think just getting it out of the way is, best. And then hopefully he didn't have, a decent 4-drop or another 5-drop because he already played double Shredder. So, and the fact that he's playing Mech Warper, I'm so confused. I am very confused. What is he playing? Mech? What the fuck? Well, I didn't see that coming. Hopefully we can draw into an Execute. Shield Slam works. So we'll be able to Shield Block, see what we can draw into from here. Shield Slam another one. Wow. Okay. We've got 3 mana, so we can coin. Have him discard 3 more cards. No. Okay. Whoa. His deck is... It's just like a whole bunch of high drops. It like made me think it was control or hand lock, and then he's playing all this other shit. So do we waste 2 Shield Slams on it? Or do we... Yeah, I think we do. I think we have to. I think we Shield Slam it. We want to play another card anyway, and this will bring it down to either way it's going to die, but we can play 3 more cards and make him mill 9 more cards. Yeah, I think that's pretty worth it. And the Taskmaster at least puts a creature on the board, so we're going to make him mill 9 more cards. So we're getting Dark Bomb, Fell Cannons, fucking Technicians, Sylvanas, Sky Golem, Kel'Thuzad, what the fuck? Clockwork Giant, hello? What the fuck is going on? I mean, ranks, he could be trying out a new deck, or it could be a deck we don't know about yet. I don't know. If he attacks into it, the Taskmaster will be able to kill it. The following turn, we'll be able to just ping it for 1. Or we can ping our Acolyte to draw an extra card, and then Battle Rage to draw 2 more, or depending on the situation we're put in. So he's going to play another Fel Reaver. Jeez. So this could be bad. This could, in fact, be bad. I think we could take 8 to the face if we can't kill it. Okay, so we got the War Axe. So I think we're going to play the Acolyte. It's going to mill some more cards. We're going to Taskmaster the Acolyte to draw to see what we can get. And then from there, Battle Rage, which is another 6-card milled. And then we can get rid of the Mech Warper. Or we can do it on the Acolyte, like I mentioned before. Should we kill the Mech Warper? I think putting on the Acolyte to draw a card is pretty important, though, because we don't have anything to deal with the Fel Reaver, and that goes unchecked, then it's going to be game over anyway. So the Whirlwind actually takes care of the Mech Warper anyway. So we either can draw 2 here, or Whirlwind to draw another card and take care of the Mech Warper, which I think is a little bit better, because we kind of we draw a card, and we kill the card, and we drew into the Execute, which is, like, the best thing ever. Oh, my goodness gracious. Feels bad, man. And then he's gonna fatigue out. He has 5 cards in hand. I mean, he can attempt to keep winning depending on what's in his hand, or not keep winning, but keep playing. I don't think winning was ever something this deck ever did to us. So he's gonna draw 1 card. So he's actually gonna hurt himself here. We drew into another Execute, so double Execute off the top, which is nice. So if he plays a bigger creature, we'll be able to deal with it accordingly. That was a really nice top deck by us. So the Anima Golem. It's another. What the fuck? Okay. The sad part is, if we weren't able to deal, we could Hellscream, take out his Tinker here, and then the Anima Golem will kill itself. Because it's not if it's the only creature on his side of the field, not any creature on the field itself. So it's just going to kill itself. But we actually could have been put into a really bad situation there if we weren't able to mill him and or kill the Fel Reaver. So I mean, he concedes here, obviously, because he only has 3 cards in hand, no cards in deck, and we obviously. But yeah, I think his deck had potential there at some point in time. Just having all those high drops, if he at least gets 1 or 2 of them out before your opponent is running like a slower control deck, he by far has way more high drops. So I don't think that's a bad idea if you're getting matched up with a bunch of control, like let's say control warrior and our control druid, our freeze mage. He had a lot of potential with there, or a lot of big cards, I should say. So yeah, can't throw off the deck. Never played it. Don't judge a book by its cover. Okay, so heading into game number 2 with the New Age Patron. And this deck variant, by the way, guys, it's on the right-hand side if you haven't even noticed it. Hopefully you have. There's some people that be like, oh my god, where's the deck list? It's like, holy shit, come on, man. I'll walk you to the door. I'll wiggle the knob for you. I'll even crack the door open, but only you can walk through the door. I mean, I guess I could fucking push you through the door. I could drop kick the door so there is no door. But man, if you can't see the deck list, or if you tell me to post the individual cards, it's like, come on, man. Oh my goodness gracious. I can only do so much. Sorry, little rant. Okay, so this opening hand is really nice. With this deck, you're aiming just like the normal, or I would say just like with any normal warrior deck. You're looking to pick up your War Axe, which is perfect 2-drop. It's just, the War Axe is just such a crazy card. Like, they made such a great classic weapon. Like, it's 2-drop for 3/2. That's insane. And then we have a decent 3-drop. Normally you'd play Berserker only when you have the combination with Warsong Commander, but it's just a good kind of card to put on the field to apply pressure, because they want to get rid of it immediately, and if they don't, it's just going to grow. So it forces them to have to use some of their CC earlier on, and maybe some of their bigger CC, because it does have 4 health, which is a nuisance. Like, it has to be, if they're playing Mage, a Fireball or a Frostbolt just doesn't kill it. Normally if you play a Shredder or something like that, a Frostbolt can just take care of it. But the Berserker. So there he actually had to get rid of Power Overwhelming to deal with that, which is really nice. So we're just going to play our Shredder, end our turn. We're really not going to use our weapon to attack into the Haunted Creeper. And I didn't really mention this before, we could have killed the Haunted Creeper, or one of the spiders. We didn't kill the Haunted Creeper prior, is because there's no point. It's going to break into 2 of these, and then they could have swung, and then he could have Dark Bombed it. But in the other case, he had to pop it anyway, and it would have just saved our charge on our weapon. So if you're thinking, why didn't we attack the Haunted Creeper with our weapon when playing the Berserker? That was a question you had. Okay, so he is playing the Void Caller, which makes me think he's definitely got a demon in his hand, or he's bluffing, so we'll have to see. I like checking. So we'll see if, hold on, let's see what we got here. Brawl is always an option if bad things happen, but face is the place. If he has the demon in his hand, well, if he had, I guess, I mean, if we would have killed it, it would have popped Shredder. Let's assume the spiders would have killed it, and it's a Doom Guard, we would have been fucked, because even if we passive. So, like, if we play another Shredder, we have the potential to brawl, and when we brawl, both our Shredders are going to give us 2 cards out of it, even if they don't live, which is nice, and none of his will besides the demon, or the void. Oh, no. Okay. This all sounded much better in my head, and now that he's actually applying pressure, I'm fucked. So we summon the 2/4 demon, which really isn't that big of a deal. We summon a berserker, which is nice. So next turn, I see a brawl. He's got 5 cards to our 1. So I feel like swinging this into his 2/4, it's gonna pop out another imp. It also brings that a little bit lower, and it's another card that I do not want him, or it's another card he has to get that is not Knife Juggler or Dire Wolf. So. And then whatever comes out, obviously, we'll be able to kill it with our weapon, which is nice. So I'm assuming a 1/1 will come from him. Worst case scenario is the Knife Juggler. Ooh, I can't believe our card lived. Always lucky. Sorry that happened, bro. That's really unfortunate. Poor guy. So he has 3 cards in hand. Obviously, probably, yeah, he's definitely going to tap to see if we can draw it. He needs to build back up his hand to be able to flood the field. He has nothing. 4 drops, nothing. Feels bad. Okay, so we're going to use... We can actually, yeah, we'll Taskmaster this, and then we can Battle Rage to draw 3. We've got a pretty strong field right now. If he has Hellfire, fuck. If he doesn't have Hellfire, we're going to be able to deal a lot of damage. Because, I mean, we have 10, 12, 15 damage on board. And then if we Whirlwind after that, that could, in fact, we get lucky, and then we get fucked. It's like a constant flux between being fucked and getting lucky. It's like fuckly. It's like a weird mid-range kind of thing. Mid-range fuck. So double Alkalite. So I'm trying to think of the drawbacks of playing double Alkalite. I was thinking Bouncing Blade, but he's a fucking Warlock. So that doesn't really affect us too much. So he's going to Doom Guard passive to make sure he didn't lose anything too good. Kill, swinging into, what? Why would he do that? Why wouldn't he just go face? He's playing Zoo and he has 7 health left and I have 2 on board. What does he think I have? So we're going to slam this, see what we can draw and do. There's tons of things we could do. Weapon, swing directly with our weapon, and then we can just execute it and or shield bash it. I think execute's fine. It really doesn't matter how we deal with it. There's really nothing left in his deck. I mean, I guess there's still stuff left in his deck, but there's nothing at this situation in the game he can do this really stop us. If he plays a creature, we just plow through it with a weapon. We slam, shield slash, or well, shield bash, shield block, whatever. So he's gonna give us Loatheb Taunt, which potentially could have been disastrous, but it's really not that big of a deal whatsoever. So, Doctor Booming. And then we will attack with our weapon, and then hopefully the boom bots will just go face, unless he can just, yeah, okay, he gave up. So normally you'd never play Dr. Boom prior to having the Whirlwind go off, but whatever. And we're already on a win streak to keep that in mind. So we had already won a game prior to winning the beginning game that we played. So I'm already on a streak with this deck, which is quite nice. So we'll be actually 2 stars into 5 when we finish off this last little win here, if we can pull that off. And then we'll talk about the deck list, of course, and why I have what I have in here. And then we'll pretty much bring the New Age Patron to an end. Which I really like the New Age Patron. I think them getting rid of the not getting rid of the Warsong Commander, but allowing the deck to thrive without it was a good idea because it adds a lot more variety in the deck. Patron was just controlling the ladder indefinitely. In this variant of the deck, it won't control the ladder, but it's still very good. It's still fun to play. And patrons aren't bad. And you have to actually, there's no one-turn win anymore. It's not like, oh yeah, double fucking Berserker for 84 damage. You thought you were safe with 50, 30 health and 20 armor. Yeah, whatever, no. I like this deck a lot more, to be completely honest. I like what they did. Maybe not directly what they did with Warsong Commander with what they did to the card, but, doing something about it was good. Okay, so Armor Smith was really the only thing we could have done there. I mean, if he swings his Keeper into our Armor Smith, then we can just execute the Keeper if it gets too much of a nuisance. Besides that, I really don't see anything else we can do here. If we draw a Slam, that's nice, and we're going to have to pop that secret to see if it's a Noble Sack. So it's either between the Berserker or the Alkalite. We really don't need to draw any cards right now. We just kind of want to keep up with the board as much as we can. So it's not a Noble Sack, it's not a Competitive Spirit, so which tells me it's either going to be a Redemption and or an Avenge, because when we played Berserker, it didn't bring its health down to 1, so it's obviously not a Repentance. So when playing against a Secret Paladin, it is always good to analyze what secret they have out at one time, so you can kind of deal with it accordingly. I've seen a lot of players kind of not pay attention to the secrets, and hopefully it just keeps pinging on my Armor Smith, which would be just fantastic. Oh no, ping the Berserker. But yeah, just keep track of what secret is what. Or at least do the best you can. So his Knife Juggler is going to go down, so is our Berserker, but that's fine. Knife Juggler is a really big nuisance. And our Armor Smith is going to go down as well, but we are at a decent amount of armor. We can execute if we must. We can or we can't. I don't think it's worth it just because it's not that big right now. If it keeps buffing it or he like Blessings to the King it, that'll be fantastic. Then we'll execute it because it's already taken damage. But for the most part, I really like saving Execute for when his Mysterious Challenger gets pretty beefy. And his, I mean, Secret Paladins in general, not just against this Forever Dia, or whatever the fuck this guy's name is. So drawing in the Despite is nice. We'll be able to get rid of the Secret Keeper, and we'll see if that's an Avenge or not, or a Redemption, or no, yeah, Redemption. So. Okay, so killing off the Keeper. What is it? It's a Redemption, okay. So it being a 1-1, really not that big of a deal. Next turn, though, we've got some plays next turn because we'll be able to play a Patron. Maybe we'll draw into a Whirlwind, and then I'll bring out at least 2 Patrons. So he Blessings of the King that feels bad, man. So now we'll actually we could attack the Keeper. Nope, fuck it, it has 6. Okay, so we're going face. If it's a Noble Sack, that's fine. We're going to, of course, play Patron prior, and then we're going to execute the Keeper, so it's just going to die anyway. So us being at 12 health really isn't a big deal here whatsoever, because he's going to have nothing after this play. So, attacking directly, Whirlwind going off, summoning another Patron, hopefully it's Avenge. It is an Avenge, feels bad. We're going to execute off the Keeper. It's just going to go die, and we're going to end our turn. We've got 2 Patrons down, another one in hand, a Shield Block to bring us back up to draw more cards, and the Alkalite to potentially also be able to draw us more cards if we draw the Whirlwind. If we draw an Armor Smith, that's fantastic too, because the Armor Smith will be able to gain armor every time one of our Patron bounces. That was a lot to say, but this is exciting because I like beating Secret Paladin because most of the time they think they're really good for playing it. Not that we're going to swing. Not a Noble Sack. I think Alkalite passive go face is the best play here. So he's probably going to attack the 3/3 Patron, and then we still have a 3/2/1 out, another one and another Patron in our hand. I was hoping that one of those was a Noble Sack, and then it would have made another Patron, and then we would have had another 3/1. So yeah, whatever. But yeah, him having a 6/6, we have 14. I don't see. I mean, even if he already used 1 Blessing, so we're not scared of a Blessing. So I guess a Blessing's the King True Silver Champion, but he doesn't have enough mana for that anyway. He has 1 of the cards, so he has 10. He's going face. We're gonna be put down to 4 health, but we're not scared about that because we're a fucking warrior. What a fucking warrior. We have armor. We don't need shit. And he summoned a 1/1, which was really fucking dumb of him, to be completely honest. So we can use a light or not. So we got Dr. Boom. Okay, so we've got a multitude of options here. I think we just attack into it with an Alkalite and just see what we draw. Or we could just swing into a Patron and make another Patron. But for the most part, I think drawing's pretty important. Just drawing into another Shield Block. Or no, there's only 1 Shield Block in the deck. Drawing into an Armor Smith is pretty important. Another Execute's nice. And then we're going to have to deal with this Lotha, probably with the Shield Slam. So we're going to have to do something with Mysterious Challenger. Or we could passive and then Shield Block, but then we'd save Slam, but there'd be no point to save Slam. So we'll see what we draw. Execute, that's awesome. Fan-fucking-tastic, mate. So we're going to slam this down, and whether to use the Execute or the Shield Bash is the question of the day, and I think we should use the Execute and save the Shield Bash, because the Shield Bash, potentially, we can have that as high as we want, and with the Execute, it has to have damage on the creature, and right now, if he clears our field, we would have no way to deal damage to a creature besides using a weapon, and obviously we do not have the health to use our weapon. So either way, so there's the Mysterious Challenger that we kind of laid our bets on here. that he was most likely going to play sometime soon. He's going to swing probably face. Hopefully he swings at the Patron. He did. Awesome. Fan-fucking-tastic. So now we're going to attack probably with our Alkalite, see what we draw with it. From there, passive, kill off the Mysterious Challenger when it gets avenged, and then we can kind of Hellscream, weapon. I think we should probably set up probably a weapon into Hellscream play, maybe even play another Patron. There's so many options we can do here. This Paladin's on the ropes. So he has 8 health, which means we have to passive no matter what. And then we can kill it. And now we have 6 mana. We can... So it's play Shredder or play a weapon. I think developing field here is kind of nice. I guess we could have played a weapon to push lethal next turn. Even though our Shredder is at 1 health, it's going to summon another creature, and I'm kind of just worried about... Actually, we could have just done our weapon, swing face next turn, push lethal with Hellscream, because he has no taunts in the deck. I doubt he's running Sledge Belcher. So yeah, we could have actually won if we would have set up the weapon there. So that's my bad. Yeah. We would have won if it was a weapon. My bad, guys. Misplay on my part. I thought the Shredder would be decent because it's a body on the board, but the situation called for a different kind of play there. So we're just going to passive to make sure he can't do anything crazy. We're at 13 health. He has 1 card on the field. He has to do 9 damage with 1 card. So even Avenging Wrath, if it hit me with face every single fucking time, he would be 1 damage short. Blessings of the King. He has 8. He goes face. And I think we have lethal on board, unless he just swings into the Dr. Boom to... Yeah, you'd have to swing into Dr. Boom. It'd be stupid of him not to. Okay, and then from here, I believe we have game if we have weapons. So we have 4 on field, 4, 6, 11 damage, and I believe this is game, wrapping up our 3 wins with the New Age Patron. We could have actually had the win last turn, but I'm sorry. I played Shredder instead of the weapon. My bad. So, finishing up the 3rd game here, I'm going to be Trolley McTrollsons. There we go. Sorry, Paladin. And what I meant to say is Paladins, our Secret Paladins, think they're really good. It's only those Paladins that, like, when they play Mysterious Challenger on turn 6, then they play Dr. Boom on turn 7, and then they play Tyrion on turn 8, and then they emote, well played, well played, well played, thanks, well played, thanks, 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 well played, thanks. Hello? It's those kind of players that, like, it makes me upset. But just playing Secret Paladin in general is whatever. Not saying that this guy, did that, but still beating him makes me feel good. I don't have to explain myself to you guys. Stop it. I'm, like, feeling bad because fuck it, never mind. We'll talk about the deck. So for those of you who want to stay and talk about the deck, thank you. For those of you who want to leave, we're pretty much done playing. We got our 3 wins. So starting off with the top, we're not really going to talk about those cards that are just in every Warrior deck. That's what they are. And I looked over to make sure I was recording, because at the beginning of this video I didn't record, and then I forgot I hit record anyway, so I was just clarifying. That's why I looked at it anyway. So, Execute's not really going to explain that. Shield Slam's, again, not going to explain that. The Whirlwind, this is something I will explain, because people with the New Age Patron, they'll actually run Inner Rage and maybe not Whirlwind, or Inner Rage and Whirlwind, and they'll take out maybe the Hellscream or something, because they find Hellscream really isn't necessary, because if you get the Grim Patron Flood, then Hellscream really doesn't do anything, plus it's really late game, and there's no Emperor in this deck to make it cost less. So the thing behind my Whirlwind and not Inner Rage is the fact that Inner Rage doesn't necessarily, it only works on 1 card. It does make variable trades, and it does cost 0, which is nice if you only, on turn 5 have a Patron in that. But for the most part, I find Whirlwind is just a little bit more helpful, because it also clears your opponent's side of the field. And I've been seeing a lot of Rush Druid, and a lot of Rush Druids, it seems like there's a lot of Leper Gnomes on turn 1. There's also... Warriors don't have a good way to deal, minimal damage without smacking a creature in the face with your weapon. And if you're at low health because you're going against a Rush deck, you kind of want to deal as much damage as you can without, taking as much damage with this deck early on, because this deck is semi-slow early on if you do not draw the right hand, even though a lot of the creatures are fairly low, as in the Armor Smiths, the Taskmasters, the Alkalites, the Frothings. So it's just a personal preference there. If you want to run Inner Rage, you're more than welcome to. I just find Whirlwind is more my style. The War Axe is just absolutely insane. There's no really reason to explain that one. Battle Rage, 2 of these. This is your draw potential. Not that Alkalite doesn't do a good enough job, but for the most part, when you Patron Flood, you kind of use your entire hand to put that out there, and then you need to rebuild it somehow in Battle Rage for 2 mana. Most of the time, you're drawing at least 2 cards because your hero does count. When your hero takes damage, it does count for an extra card draw there, which is fantastic. So make sure when you use Battle Rage, you're calculating your hero too and whatever you have on the field and making sure you get at least 2 draws out of that. Double Slam. This is, again, to take care of the rush cards and or cards to get them down to that 1 health so you can ping it off with the Taskmaster. You can Whirlwind to kill it. Your Death Bites Death Rattle kills it. So in my opinion, really nice card. The Armor Smiths help against, again, the aggro, along with just, giving you a good amount of armor for, it's a 2-drop, 1/4. Who doesn't like that? It gives you armor every time something takes damage. And then, let's say you have, like, an Armor Smith out in the Frothing Berserker like we saw before. If he didn't have the Knife Juggler combo to kind of destroy what we had, it's really hard for someone to decide, oh, do I kill the Armor Smith? Do I kill the Berserker? The Berserker's not big right now. He's getting too much armor. So when you're playing against, like, a Rush deck, which we've been seeing a lot of, by the way, which is why I've built the deck the way it is, it makes them in a conundrum. So it's like, do I clear the Berserker because it's a problem later, or do I get rid of the Armor Smith now? Because if I don't get rid of the Armor Smith, the game is just going to extend past the playability of a Rush deck. It'll run out of steam eventually. So that's why I'm running her, and also just a good backstory on her, I guess. Cruel Taskmaster. This card is good in a numerous amount of situations. I'm not really going to explain it much. 1 shield block is actually fairly interesting, I think. And I found that running 2 of these in this kind of deck kind of bogs down the deck a little bit, because for most of the part on turn 3, you're looking to play a creature. You're hoping to have a weapon down. Shield slams really aren't your main way to get rid of creatures. Weapons are. Also, the 2 executes make it fairly easy. So the shield slams are meant to honestly take out creatures with 4 HP or lower, but the shield block in there just allows you shield block, shield slam combo, but you're not really relying on that. So I think 1 shield block is fine for the most part. The Alkalite of Pain's not really going to explain those. The Berserkers are just, like I said, fantastic cards. Even when they can't, 1-turn kill people anymore, there's still a huge threat on the board that your opponent's definitely going to waste CC on to get rid of, which we talked about earlier in one of our games. The Despite, that card's just fucking broken. Let's not even talk about that. The Shredder, we've seen this in so many of our decks, and I'll mention it every single time. We have a video on why it's the best golden common to grab. The 1 Brawl, 2 is too much in this deck, 1 is just enough. If you're running Fatigue Warrior, obviously you run 2 Brawls. If you're running Control Warrior that, is focused more on the really late game, 2 Brawls is fine, but just for the Patron, 1 Brawl is okay, because if you're losing the field by turn 5 that much, you have that Brawl to back you up, but 2 of them, you're not... If you find yourself needing 2 Brawls in this deck constantly, I don't think you're running the deck right, or you're just in really shitty situations. Double Grim Patron, of course, the fucking Patron deck. The Dr. Boom, because Dr. Boom is the best 7-drop in the game, in my opinion, still. There's just no way around not playing him. And then the Hellscream is because he's Hellscream. Why not? Unfortunately, this deck, unfortunately now that we've made so many guides and we've talked about, pretty much every card in the game, it's hard for me to just keep repeating the same stuff, because I know some of you guys have definitely already seen these and you don't want to hear the same information about cards. You just want the root of it. And if there's anything that changes with the deck that involves that card that you'd want to hear about, like the Frothing Berserker or anything like that, I kind of specialize on that. But for the most part, I shouldn't have to explain why, War Axe is a great card. It's just, it is. And if a player can't see that, they need an explanation. I'm sorry, you just have to accept that it's awesome. Here, have something awesome. Don't argue, just accept it's awesome. Don't argue, though. It's awesome. So, thank you guys for stopping by the end, of course, and joining us for another deck guide video for those of you who are still watching. I'm Rob, or Warshack if you want to call me by that, and I'm Warshack, happy whatever the hell date is. For some reason, I messed that up. Anyway, see you guys.